It's an ecosystem of companies that we set up and developed over the last 15 years, putting them all together, starting out with ICE Support Limited, and then we followed that up with CRIBB and eTestware, basically providing all the needs from an IT perspective for any type of business.
On the surface, theICEway is a IT service provider that specialises in the cruise industry, the travel industry and healthcare. However, it's more than that. theICEway is a culture, it's a family, it's an amazing team, and it's just a brilliant reason to get out of bed every day.
theICEway started out in 2007 when Byrne and Richardson and I both had our own managed service companies, both small companies, and then in 2007 we decided to put them together and form one company called ICE. And once we had come up with the name, which is ICE, which is Ian, Conor and everybody else, then we decided to move on and aim to grow into a bigger company so that we could provide IT services along the way.
So theICEway started out, well, back in the 90s. I was a IT manager in the cruise industry. Conor was an IT manager in the healthcare industry. And we became friends, and basically I set up my own business when I finished my job where I was working, and Conor did the same. He had his own company, so we both had separate companies, and in 2007 we just decided to join forces and form ICE, which basically stands for Ian, Conor and everybody else.
theICEway evolved in a very organic manner. We both took the decision early on to not have lots of debt or look for major investment at that stage. So we spent a number of years, and probably still to today, reinvesting profits into the company, reinvesting into people, into technologies, to start delivering the services our clients needed along the way.
So theICEway has evolved organically and through over a number of years, through a lot of ideas from a lot of good people, really. That's how we've evolved. You know, back in the 2007 there was only 2 or 3 of us, and I was doing a lot of the work and Conor was doing a lot of the work. And we've just evolved over time and grown over time.
We both had the experience and skills to support the new and ever-changing technologies, and we both have a very good service etiquette, from which we knew that would be the base for providing managed services and then ongoing consultancy as well as we move through the years.
Yes, in a word, yes. We've always had a vision of being the best in the world at something.
It's obviously a very big number in small company terms. 15 years, a lot of companies don't make it this far. What it means to me is it means that what we set out to do, we did, and we've been very successful at doing it. 15 years in technology is a long, long time, because as things change very, very quickly. So when we set out some very basic pillars of integrity, of people, of quality, and by sticking to these 3 principles, we found that you know, going over 15 years was never a problem. To be honest, 15 years really just went by. You know, it seems like a click of the fingers, really.
It makes me very proud. It makes me really proud of where we are now and what we've accomplished, and I'm looking forward to many years, many successful further years.
2007 was interesting because my twin boys were 7 years old then, which at that time I had run a company for 3 years, so I was used to the fact of working for myself, you know, running a company. So 2007 was a really interesting time because that's when technology was really starting to boom. You know, in 2007, the Facebooks, were only getting going. The Googles were only starting around that time. And it was really interesting seeing the new technologies appearing. So 2007 for me was definitely a time when we could see that the future was going to be really, really bright in IT, and it was going to be very exciting. And even today, after 15 years, I still think IT is fledgling. It's going to get so much bigger and so much more amazing, I think, over the next 15 years, hopefully.
2007, it was an exciting time for me personally. I'd just had my daughter, my first child, so that was exciting. I was doing a lot of travelling at the time as well, because back then there was less of us, there was only a few of us, so Conor and I were both having to do a lot of work actually on the tools. It was a long way from where we are today, but we still have a very strong work ethic, the pair of us and everybody in the company. But it was an exciting time, 2007.
Probably communications is the most significant. So the increased use of the internet, or even the internet itself, internet connectivity. So 2007 was one of the real starting points of IT, and it's proven to be an industry where you have to stay on your toes at all times. You have to keep ahead of the curve because your clients demand that.
I would say the prevalence of the internet and cloud computing, the two main ones.
So to compare the way we work today versus 15 years ago, definitely the technology has advanced so much that you can truly work from anywhere. The way I work now is all about making sure that everybody is involved. Our business is all about people. So when people are not in the office and working remotely, it's how do you keep them involved, how do you keep them trained, how do you keep them up to date, and how do you keep them interested?
Well, obviously virtual, a lot more virtual and remote work, and also globally. The advantage of having everybody virtual, even though we have this office, is that we can employ anywhere in the world.
It's a good question, that, and I always think that it's really important to reflect on the past, but you can't change the past. So we have to use the past to deliver the future. However, I can definitely say that there's one thing I definitely wouldn't change, and that would be the choice of business partner at the time. So joining up with Byrne and Richardson to form ICE, we've had a 15-year business partnership, which is as strong today as it was then.
Nothing. I wouldn't change a thing. Any challenge that we've had to overcome has just made us stronger and forged what we are today and who we are. So, and every decision that we've made, a thought that we got wrong, we've just learned from. So I wouldn't change anything.
Oh, theICEway was a song. It would definitely be a song by Frank Sinatra. I did it theICEway.
We Are Family by Sister Sledge. No explanation needed.